welcome back to California Cooking. On today's show, I'm going to take you guys to a new restaurant in Santa Monica known for their wood-fired menu. Then jazz up your weeknight salmon by making salmon stuffed pitas. And just in time for backyard barbecues, it's a bacon potato salad. The couple behind the very popular seafood spot Crudo y Nudo has just opened a new restaurant, and I'm still dreaming about the scent of their wood-burning oven. Let's check out Isla. Hi guys.
Hi.
What I have to say, I was walking up the sidewalk and I was like, what's that smell? And I have a feeling it's this wood-burning stove right here.
Yeah, we love the smell of the walnut wood. It's intoxicating.
And this is so new. We're only a couple weeks old, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you have a newborn?
We definitely do. It's still kicking and screaming. I mean, like trying to take a breath, but mostly,
keeping you up at night?
Crying, yeah.
Yeah, we have the toddler down the street and the newborn here.
Right?
It's a lot, but it's, that's why it has to be a labor of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind this restaurant? It's beautiful.
Lena did a great job on the interior. It's really like a gorgeous space that we've always loved. We kind of fantasized about it and like loved the space for years. And so getting to work out of it now is such like literally a dream come true. It's really magical. But we have Crudo y Nudo, which we opened in the pandemic, early in the pandemic. For a while, it's such a small space. It's like 600 square feet. So for a while we were thinking like, do we grow Crudo? Do we like look for a new space where we can do more with it? And after a trip to Puglia, to Italy, it was just really reaffirming to us that Crudo should just stay the way it is. It's this beautiful alfresco, casual, highbrow, lowbrow.
Don't change what's working.
Exactly.
Right?
But at that point, we started looking for another space, another way to like promote our like sourcing values, our like labor goals. Like we wanted something that could use stuff that we couldn't use at Crudo.
Okay.
So at Crudo, we can use like certain types of fish that you can serve sashimi quality. And here we can use like black cod, which we can't serve sashimi. We can use smaller rockfish. We can use, even stuff that's non-fish related. We can use like other low carbon footprint, proteins like duck and chicken and pastured birds from California. So it's all about using the bounty of like what California and Baja do best, but now having another application besides just a raw bar.
All those things you mentioned, sustainability and where you get your food and how it's sourced and how you take care of the people who work here.
Yeah, I think the pandemic really changed a lot of that as well. And a big part of why we wanted to do something outside of Crudo also is because in those 600 square feet, the talent was like really starting to spread their wings. And so we needed another avenue for them to, make the most of what we had.
Just people that you had met and you thought, okay, we need more room for everyone to fly, kind of thing?
we like really like have gotten so lucky. We're so honored to like work with such great people that have been attracted to like the uniqueness and like the specificity of what we do. And so we've been fortunate enough that we really, all of our hires have been word of mouth, or they've, approached us, and like we've been able to attract a lot of really great talent.
We've gotten a lot of people that come work for us because they just came to enjoy a meal and then said, oh, I really like the vibe, or I like, I like to see like how people are interacting here.
And a lot of restaurant work is kind of banal. It's just like you work bad hours at low pay and you're underappreciated. And so what we're really hoping to do, like we have a 4-day work week where everybody gets 3 days off.
I like it.
We do health benefits after 60 days, and we try to just keep the quality of work very human. It's more about like distributing the labor out between all hands rather than just offloading it to a few people. By running with less people, we're able to pay everybody more of a living wage that feels more tenable for them.
So you two are a couple, and you also have restaurants together. I mean, that's a lot of togetherness.
It's a lot of togetherness.
How did you two crazy kids meet?
We met in the pandemic. We met in June of 2020.
You're kidding.
No,
okay,
no.
that's an unusual time, huh?
Yeah.
We went to UCLA at the same time. We lived on the same dorm floor and we never met.
Oh, wow.
We lived across from each other a couple times and just never met until June of 2020. And Lena was a touring musician, I was a chef, and neither one of us had any work.
Right.
And so, it was, after dating for a few months, the pop-up kind of happened naturally, and it was honestly out of necessity too. There was not really, it was a very different world.
Sure.
And so we made the most out of what we had, and that grew, and fortunately people really liked it, and it attracted, you know, what we wanted. So we're really lucky to be in this position.
When you came up with this menu, tell me what you wanted to achieve here.
The purpose is really like to take stuff that we believe, we know to be sustainable, low carbon footprint, really like great for the environment, for the ocean and for the soil.
Yeah.
But going direct to the fisherman, direct to the farmer. So like, you know, we'll get guinea hens shipped directly from the farm to us. We'll get fish directly from my friend Eric in the Channel Islands, delivered down on his truck here. That kind of skips out on that in-between phase.
Yeah.
I've always loved working with wood and have since I, you know, worked in Italy at 19. And so the question was, how do we apply this kind of love of wood-fired cure to local produce and come up with a menu mix that is like inherently Californian in flavor, but makes sense to people. And so the end result is something like a robata or an izakaya, where we have like little charcoal skewers,
Sure,
we
I
have
love
wood-fired
that.
mains and cold starters, and you know, fried items as well, like fish collars and wings.
Oh my gosh, Brian goes into the kitchen and a few minutes later, how do you do it?
Well, it's
It's like magic. He literally was only in there for a few minutes and look what you've created.
thanks. Yeah, I mean, like when you have great quality product and like, you know, a little wood fire, like it's pretty simple. We love Baja Campachi. It's from our friends at Omega Azul. So we serve it down the street at Crudo, totally raw, but here we just marinate it in some koji, some orange juice and kombu, and then grill that, top with a little masago, a little fish egg and chive.
Oh my gosh, I guess I
So
should kind of
addictive.
like,
Get in there,
should
yeah,
I? What?
please. That one's just like a flavor bomb.
A flavor bomb? I love a flavor bomb. No, it really,
Right?
yeah.
It's like fatty, but it's like the koji and orange makes it so round
The
and
orange
really,
is really unexpected. I'm not I never ordered duck at a restaurant.
I was the same way actually, and then when we started making it here, I became a fan.
it's so unctuous, and like the richness of that luxardo with the acidity of the sorrel is one of my favorite
So
combos.
interesting
Yeah.
that, yeah, it really like cuts through.
All the fat and all the
All of that.
richness and all the smoke, yeah.
Wow.
The citrus salad with
so
Oro Blanc, thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, we love, like, especially like winter and until early spring, Oro Blancos, blood oranges, mandarin quats are so sweet, and there's such a highlight of like local produce. So we add a little chili oil and almond duca.
And then this I thought was so interesting because this is done on purpose. You've got kind of this like darker side of the,
Yeah, so we
Right.
make an onion ash
Yeah.
in the wood oven, and that gets sprinkled over because we want every element to have something that's
Wow.
wood-fired in it.
okay, when you say onion ash, what do we mean? What?
We literally just burnt Spanish onions
Okay.
until you can pulverize them. They're totally dehydrated, and they add a lot of depth and umami
And you
and
basically
smoke.
kind of sprinkled it over,
Exactly.
I guess?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
what are these?
So midnight moon goat cheese, and then a walnut enchilada. It's like a
Oh.
broken salad, which is a walnut anchovy oily salsa. And then of course, we're gonna have you get into this whole roasted
Look at
cauliflower.
that. And that came out of that beautiful oven behind us. Is that like a tahini over the top?
Yeah,
or is
so
it-
it's a garlic, tahini, lemon, olive oil sauce. We milk brine the cauliflower ahead of time, and then just sous vide it, roast it, pull it out, top it with the tahini sauce, patarga, and herbs, and it's a
so
fan
much
favorite.
flavor.
Yeah.
You guys are really thinking outside the box, aren't you, on a
Thanks.
lot of this? It's
Yeah.
so delicious. And congratulations.
Thank you.
On
We're
your
so
baby.
excited. We're so excited.
She's really cute.
She is. She's like, got a great smile.
She does. She does. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Coming up, I love anything with tzatziki on it. So my Greek-inspired salmon stuffed pitas hit the spot. Then it is a summer salad featuring bacon and potatoes, so it must be delicious. What's for dinner tonight? How about a Greek-inspired stuffed pita with salmon? For dinner tonight, I'm thinking salmon pitas with tzatziki sauce. So kind of a a Greek spin on a stuffed pita. Normally it'd be like gyro meat or something. So I'm gonna do some salmon and probably just flake it up and put some maybe tomatoes, and the star of the show is the Greek tzatziki, which is the yogurt, the dill, the cucumber. So I'm gonna start with that. And it's really easy, and I honestly will eat things just for the sake of getting the chance to eat tzatziki on something, because I love it so much. So it's Greek yogurt or labneh, which I prefer is my kind of yogurt of choice. That goes in a bowl. This is the most time-consuming part, is the grating of the cucumber. I've got a paper towel because I want to drain my cucumber. I don't want it to be too wet because then it ruins the sauce. Grate your cucumber. You don't have to peel it. I'm gonna just put that in a bowl. You could squeeze it out because there's so much liquid in here. I'm gonna just put it in the strainer for a minute and see what happens. And then I'll squeeze it right before I add it. To the yogurt, some fresh dill. I love fresh dill. It's one of my faves. It's so good. And I just don't think you can get the same out of dried dill as you can with fresh. So a big handful of chopped dill. It's so fragrant and amazing. Tzatziki has a lot of garlic. Get a couple of cloves of garlic grated in there. And I love anything in a pita. So I've got my pita bread. Oh, my pita bread's actually in the oven, in tin foil, just getting warm, because I like to warm the pita bread up just a little bit. So I think my girlfriend Nikki, who's Greek, was the one who introduced me to tzatziki and just Greek food in general. I remember her taking me to Greek restaurants when we were just out of college, and that was it. I was like, this is my favorite. It's official. I love Greek food. Good amount of salt. And I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna let this continue to drain. And while it does, I think kind of a very quick and easy little Greek salad situation, because I think that'll be nice at the base of our pita. So I've got some romaine lettuce. I'm gonna just give that a nice little chop. And then our beautiful tomatoes, I'm just gonna cut them in half. I've got orange and yellow and all the colors. Found some Kalamata olives in the fridge. So I'll give a rough chop to these. These are very salty, immediately make me think of Greek food. And now, easy, that's it. Olive oil. We'll just dress our salad. And some red wine vinegar, some oregano. And maybe a touch of salt. You don't want to go crazy. The Kalamata, very salty. Okay, so that is done. Let's check these cucumbers. Okay, here we go. See how much water comes out. There we go. So a good amount of liquid that just came out of there. So we'll put our cucumber in. All right, let's stir this up. Oh, I know what I'm missing. Lemon juice. Some fresh lemon juice. 1 lemon, I think, should be enough. Let's stir this up. And the longer this sits, the better this gets. You can use it right away, or if it sits for 24 hours, probably even better. Salad's done, tzatziki's done, now the salmon. So I'm gonna just cook it back on the stovetop. I'm going to season it very simply. Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, some onion powder, and that's it. And then we'll take it back there and cook it out. Our salmon, let's see, is cooked. I'm gonna just do a little flip. Nice. And then I think a squeeze of lemon would be nice on there. Build the pita. That's all we've got left to do. So I toasted my pita bread in the oven. So I'm gonna just take maybe a quarter of the top off. The hard part is you don't want a hole, because then all your filling comes out. And then what I'm gonna do with the salmon is I'm just gonna flake it, just like that, right? It comes right off the skin. So I know you're like, ooh, skin. When you cook it, see, it just removes itself from the skin. First, our yummy Greek salad. We'll make a nice little bed of that at the bottom. We'll take our nice flaked salmon, put that on top. The whole reason I made this dish is the tzatziki on top. And there you go, your yummy salmon, Greek style pita. Okay, I do think things could get very messy here, but worth it, right? So good, the tzatziki, the warm salmon, the cold salad at the bottom. Perfect. Coming up, bacon and potatoes are the stars of my summer salad. Perfect for any backyard barbecue. That's coming up next. The secret to a really good salad is that you feel like you're not eating a salad. Here's my bacon potato salad with homemade ranch dressing. For this recipe, I was thinking about potato salad and the flavors of potato salad. And then that morphed into a salad mainly with potatoes and bacon. So that is what I'm making with homemade ranch dressing. So this is, I think, a great thing to serve on a summer day. You could, have it as a side, or you could have it as your main dish, whatever you think. But it's got corn and grilled corn and hard-boiled eggs and roasted potatoes and bacon and ranch dressing. So all good things that I enjoy. But one of the things I want to get started is the bacon. So I'm going to put the bacon in the oven. I like to cook it this way, on a sheet pan, on a rack, so that way you don't get the kitchen all greasy. So that I'm going to put that in the oven. And when I do that, same for the potatoes. So I just have the little yellow potatoes, going to cut them in half, put them with some olive oil, salt and pepper, roast them while the bacon roasts. I believe when you eat a salad, it should at least be delicious and have delicious things going on. Potatoes going on the tray, and then we'll hit it with some olive oil, some salt and pepper. Here's some salt, pepper, shake them around a little, get them coated, and then the potatoes and the bacon are gonna go in the oven together, so I'll get those in. Hard-boiled eggs. I can never peel hard-boiled eggs, and I learned a trick on Instagram. Raw egg, that basically the membrane that connects, I believe, the shell to the egg, if you snap it, it's easy to peel. So you hear a sound. Did you hear that? When it popped, it worked. When I did it at Easter time. Okay, time to make some ranch dressing. Let's start with mayo. You want to make a lot because better to have a lot of ranch dressing, because the worst thing is when you don't make enough and you have to go back and do all this again. You don't want to. You just want to do it once, and any extra you can just keep in the fridge. So to the mayo, I also like labneh. We're gonna start to flavor our ranch. A hit of some vinegar. I'm using apple cider. You could use white vinegar, red wine vinegar, lemon juice. And then I have a shallot, so a half a shallot, and I'm gonna just mince finely. And then fresh dill, a big handful of that, some chive, and some garlic. And now we're gonna mix this up, add a splash of milk. Just be a little bit thinner. And that's it, ranch done. Okay, everything is pretty much done. The potatoes are still in there for the last couple of minutes. They're almost done. Corn is done, the bacon's nice and crispy. I have it draining on a towel. We're gonna test our eggs to see if they're easy to open. And our corn got nice and brown from the grill. So first thing, I think what I'm gonna do is get our bed of lettuce going. So I just have some romaine. You could do butter lettuce, whatever you prefer. You could do spinach. I think some celery, and I love the hearts with the leaves. And you also think of celery, you think of potato salad, which was my initial inspiration behind this salad. So I cut up the leaves and all because I love the leaves, the color, the crunch, the flavor. Celery going in. Obviously this time of year, tomatoes are so good, so I'm just gonna do like a cherry tomato. Just cut them in half. Okay, our cute little baby potatoes, soft in the middle, golden brown on the outside, so those are ready. Now, let's cut the corn. So what I like to do is I just do this, and then lay it on that side, chop like that. Easy. Let's do our bacon. Drained it on a paper towel, cooked it in the oven so the kitchen isn't greasy. Stack it up. Big chunks. This is my kind of salad. All right, let's try to open our eggs and see if our little trick worked. Let's cut open our eggs. Put those around. So I basically put these into a pot of water, brought them up to a boil. As soon as they boil, lid on, turn the heat off 10 minutes. And then you get a yolk that's not completely, you don't get the green ring around it, which you try to avoid. And now our crispy, lovely potatoes. The last thing we do, we take our ranch and we just do this around. And serve some on the side, of course. This is my kind of salad. Enjoy. For all the recipes we featured in today's show, follow us on Instagram at KTLA California Cooking. Well, that does it for us. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.